Hey everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my September reading plans. Happy fall everybody, I'm so excited. I know fall technically doesn't start till the end of September, but I think for me and the majority of people, September 1st is kind of like the big transition into fall. Labor Day does fall on September 1st this year, so I'm actually filming this the day before Labor Day. And so I'm kind of like gonna let myself be in the summer vibe still until tomorrow because my boyfriend's family is coming over and they want to go to the pool. I feel like it's a little bit too chilly for the pool for me personally. It's been like high 70s, so it's been very beautiful, but that started to happen probably like a week ago. And ever since the temperature has started to drop, I feel like I've transitioned into fall. I didn't really want to let summer go because I have really been enjoying summer the past couple years, but I am ready. Like I have planned out my fall goals, my fall TBR, like all the fall stuff. So once tomorrow happens, I'm fully immersing myself in the fall reads, the fall movies, and I'm bringing out the fall decor. We're just gonna fall everything up, okay? I wanted to kind of wait to film this TBR until I was like really in the fall mood because I know that's what I would be in September. So I wanted to kind of look at my TBR and plan it through that lens, and I wanted to make sure I had my fall TBR planned, and I actually have made my fall TBR. I make seasonal TBRs. I make them really big, so I have options to choose from, and this one's actually my biggest one yet. I normally read about 1/3 of the books, which is what I'm hoping to do this fall too, and I'm actually filming a video right after this for my Patreon that's going to go up a little bit later in September. That's my fall TBR if you're interested in all the books that are on my fall TBR, but I plan on kind of picking from those for this TBR. I'm a little nervous because I want to really like be in the fall mood. I want to be in my fall reads, but I've been so slumpy probably for the past month and a half, I would say since like the middle of July, and I just haven't really been wanting to read. Like I've been reading a little bit and there's some books that have been really grasping me, but a lot of books also that I have had no interest in and no motivation. I literally DNF'd a book for like the first time because I had no interest in continuing it. So that just goes to show like how bad this slump has been, but I'm hoping that starting a new season and having a new seasonal TBR and just like being excited about all the fall things and the fall reads, I'm hoping that will kind of catapult me out of this reading slump. So hopefully we're able to do that, but I am a little nervous. Because of my reading slump, I don't really have much planned for September. I do have one readathon I'm participating in, but it's my own. It's for my Patreon. We do quarterly week-long readathons called Seasonal Roulette. It's based off my TBR spinner wheel that I do here on the channel, and I make a wheel that has majority prompts that are seasonal, and that's just how we pick our reads for a week, and we do it for each season, so fall, winter, spring, and summer. And then we also do like little mini ones. I'll probably do like a 3-day long weekend round in October for spooky season. We did that for like love season around Valentine's Day. We're doing our fall round a little bit early this year. I'd never do it in October because I feel like there's so many readathons happening for spooky season, and so I just do the little mini version. And I think last year I did it in November, but this year for my birthday I'm going on like a cruise for a week, and that month is going to be really busy. I'm taking 2 trips. It's my birthday, it's Thanksgiving, so I decided that September was going to be the best month for this. If you want to join us for the readathon, it's for my top 2 tiers over on Patreon, and we are actually doing the readathon from the 12th through the 18th, so we're starting on a Friday and ending on a Thursday. I thought it'd be nice to kind of kick it off on a weekend. So that's the only readathon I'm doing for the entire month, and I'm not going to really plan what I'm going to be reading for that because I'm hoping to just like spin the wheel and like pick books. And I think during that week I might also film a fall reading vlog, and I don't really have many reading vlog plans this month either because, as I said, I've been so slumpy that I just want to read what I want to read. I do have one reading vlog I filmed in August that's going to be posted in September. I have my TBR jar reading vlog, which is still coming, but I've been so slumpy, and so having a reading vlog where I literally have to pick a book randomly and read it has been a little bit difficult. So I have read 2 books and I want to read at least 2 more for that reading vlog. So I'm going to finish that one up hopefully at the beginning of September and post it in September, and then I'm going to do a fall reading vlog where I just read fall books and stuff like that, and I get to kind of choose those books. For the TBR jar vlog, I'm not going to tell y'all which 2 books I read for it yet, but I do still have one book that I actually pulled for last month's spinner wheel, so it's kind of spoiling if I read it or not, but I pulled it for last month's spinner wheel. I got the TBR jar prompt, so I chose a book and I was like, okay, I'll read it during the TBR jar vlog, and I didn't get around to it yet, and that is You're Invited by Amanda Tissa. So I plan on reading this one for sure in the month of September for that vlog because I pulled it in the jar, so I was like, I might as well because I already pulled it out the jar, and I think I threw away the piece of paper. So I'm gonna be reading her for the TBR jar vlog, and the last book I don't know what it's gonna be because I'm just gonna choose it on the fly. Besides this one book for my TBR jar, the only other things that I have planned, of course, are my book clubs. I have my Patreon book book club, and I also have my in-person book club. So for my Patreon book club this month, we're reading Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. I'm kind of nervous and excited for this one. I really liked My Lovely Wife by this author, but it was one of the first thrillers that I ever read. So I don't really know like if I read it today, if I would love it as much as I did, and that I really did not like A Twisted Love Story, but this plot seems a little bit more of my alley, and I actually already have the arc of it as well. The only information I really know about this one is that it follows a retired serial killer, and I think someone from her past is coming or something like that and trying to reveal secrets, but the fact that we're following like a retired serial killer sounds so good and interesting to me. My Patreon also does kind of like read-alongs for different series, and we started the Bergman Brothers series in July, but none of us really loved the book, so we were supposed to read the second book in August, but I didn't read it, and I asked my patrons, I was like, hey, like, I don't really know, like, if any of y'all read the second book. I don't know if y'all want to continue in this series since you didn't love the first book. Nobody really responded because I think nobody wants to tell me that they're not liking the series. So I don't think that I'm going to read the third book either. I might have us vote on a new series to read, especially for, like, the fall season. Maybe we could choose more, like, a fall kind of, like, cozy series to read. I don't know, but I did not really love the first book. It was okay. I think I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars, but I don't know if I want to lock in for a 7-book series. For my in-person book club, we got to the historical fiction Grilly, and of course she chose a historical fiction that's huge, 446 pages, but maybe I'll love it because I didn't really expect to love the women, and that's one of my favorite books of the year so far. And so we are reading There Are Rivers in the Sky, which I think I've seen this book around before. It came out last year, and I think I've seen this cover before. I don't know what it's about, so I have the Goodreads page pulled up. It says an enchanting new tale about 3 characters living along 2 rivers, all under the shadow of one of the greatest epic poems of all time. So I think we have 3 different timelines, but it does all relate to an ancient city by Mesopotamia, but we are following somebody in 1840s London, someone in 2014 Turkey, and someone in 2018 London, and they're all very, very different. So I'm excited to see how this one's gonna pan out. Honestly, I don't really read historical fiction much because it's scary, but all the ones I've read, I really liked. So I'm excited to try this one out, and I have some other historical fiction books, mainly 11/22/63 and Babel on my fall TBR, and so I feel like maybe reading this one will kind of ease me in, and then I can read the other 2 later in fall. So those are all my official set reading plans. Now we're just gonna get into my spinner wheel, which I'm so excited for. I only read about half my TBR from last month. I'm missing 2 books, but the Ornithologist Field Guide for Love was for Animal on the Cover, which I did read. Then I think this is Love and Luck, which was for TBR Vet, and I did not get to this one. Then I had the last book in the Mindfuck series, which is Painted All Red, for Finish a Series, and I did read this one. Then I read Pleading the Fish, which is a cozy mystery, and that was for the prompt cozy mystery, so I did end up reading that one. And then I had The Counting Monte Cristo, which is finished, the book already started. I did not finish The Counting Monte Cristo, hoping to also finish this one in September, so I'm adding this one to my September TBR too, The Counting Monte Cristo. And then lastly, You're Invited was for TBR jar, and this one's also going to be added to September. So yeah, I only finished 3 of the prompts, but I'm hoping to finish 2 of the books that I didn't finish in August in September. So hopefully it works out and I can read both those, because I really need to finish up The Counting Monte Cristo so I can take on another big tome. So let's do the spinner wheel, and then afterwards I'm going to talk about some other hopefuls. Since my TBR isn't too stacked this month, I just want to tell y'all some of the things that I kind of have top of mind related to my TBR. So here's the spinner wheel. Y'all can see fall colors. There's 100 prompts, a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna do 5 spins this month. I don't know why I thought last month let me just do 6 when I was slumping, because that didn't turn out well. So we're just gonna do 5 this month. First spin. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, a book featuring murder. I always say this every single month, where if I read a book that fulfills the prompt and it's a different book than what I said in the video, I'm still gonna count it, even though I don't take punishments or anything anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But I still like to complete the prompts, and honestly I didn't even look at that for August. I may have completed almost all of the prompts, but honestly it's fine for August. We're just thinking about September now. So Too Old for This, I can probably count for this prompt. I think it's gonna have murder in it because we're following a retired serial killer, and actually a lot of the books that I really want to read, I assume that they'll probably have murder in it, but I don't know for sure. So I'm gonna go with one that says in the synopsis that there is a dead body, because I assume there's going to be murder, and that is Midnight on Beacon Street by Emily Ruth Verona. I have not heard good things about this book. I think it came out last year, if I'm correct, in 2024, and it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. Yeah, it came out last year. It was one of my most anticipated releases of the year based off the synopsis, but then I saw a lot of bad reviews for it. I knew Gabby Reeds read this and didn't love it, but it's super short and I still want to read it, and it takes place in October 1993, and it kind of is giving like Halloween vibes, where basically A mom goes out for a date night and she leaves her 2 kids with their babysitter, Amy, who is a 17-year-old girl. And then everything starts out normal, but unexpected visitors come to the door. There's mysterious phone calls, and by midnight, little Ben is in the kitchen standing in a pool of blood with a dead body at his feet. So I'm assuming there's going to be murder and someone died. That's what the dead body is for. So I'm gonna go with this one. Even though I haven't heard the best things about it, I still have been really wanting to read it because the premise just sounds like a classic slasher horror movie, babysitter, Halloween vibes. Okay, let's do the second spin now. A book gifted to me. Okay, I actually have the perfect one in mind for this. I'm gonna go with one of the most recent books that was gifted to me. There's like 2 that were gifted to me this year from my wish list, so I wanted to choose one of those. So I ended up going with Don't Let the Forest In because this one was on my hopefuls for September. Like, I just made a list of the ones that I really want to read so I could pull from those first for the spinner wheels. This one was gifted to me by Shannon for graduating, so thank you so much, Shannon, for gifting this to me. And honestly, I don't really know what this one's about, except everybody has been loving this one. All I've heard about is that people love it and it's so good. I know that it's a YA horror, which a lot of people don't like. I do really love YA horror. So honestly, like, let's read a little bit about what it's about because I have no idea. It says, high school senior Andrew finds refuge in the twisted fairy tales that he writes for the only person who can ground him in reality, Thomas. The boy with perpetually ink-stained hands and hair like autumn leaves. And with his twin sister Dove inexplicably keeping him at a cold distance upon their return to Wickedwood Academy, Andrew finds himself leaning on his friend even more. But something strange is going on with Thomas. His abusive parents have mysteriously vanished and he arrives at school with blood on his sleeve. Thomas won't say a word about it and shuts down whenever Andrew tries to ask him questions. Stranger still, Thomas is haunted by something and he seems to have lost interest in his artwork. Whimsically macabre sketches of the monster from Andrew's wicked stories. So I think Andrew is trying to figure out what happened to Thomas and he follows him into the off-limits forest one night and catches him fighting a nightmarish monster. And he thinks that Thomas's drawings have come to life and are killing anyone close to him. Okay, I like the vibes. Like, even it mentions autumn in the synopsis. It takes place at an academy, and I'm really, really excited. I think a good YA horror can be something that really breaks me out of this reading slump, so I'm really happy to get this one on the TBR. Moving on to the third spin. Okay, we have a banned book. For this one, I really didn't want to stretch it. I feel like there are some books that I could just like stretch it to make it fit because it's on my fall TBR, but I want to go with like an actually like frequently banned and challenged book. So I'm going to be going with Animal Farm by George Orwell. I believe I do own a copy of this book, but it's like an older edition, so it's at my parents' house and not here. But I'm really excited to read this one. It's also pretty short. I've never read it. I've also been really wanting to reread Fahrenheit 451, but I did read that one in school, so I was like, okay, let me go with something that I haven't read yet. So I think that Animal Farm is going to be one of the best ones. I think that there's going to be so much commentary to dissect, and I've been really wanting to read some of these banned books because of everything happening in our world and just like really focus on reading a lot of them. So I am really happy to add this one to the TBR. My computer literally just froze and started to overheat and sounded like it was a spaceship taking off. So I had to restart her. If anything looks different, that's why. So let's just do our fourth spin before she collapses. We got a romance book. Ever since I heard about this romance, I've been dying to read it. It's being republished. I think it was indie published originally, so I have an ebook of it that's, I think, the original indie published version. And it's getting traditionally published by Berkeley on September 2nd. So by the time you're seeing this, it is probably already out. But it's called If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. And this one I've heard is literally like Gilmore Girls, but make it a book, and it's a romance. It says, my new next door neighbor seems to have everything figured out. Small town golden boy, check. Single dad extraordinaire, check. Hot baker forums, I didn't notice them, I swear. Like, this sounds so corny, but I'm hoping that it gives me the vibes, you know? I, on the other hand, don't at all have anything figured out. Trust me, I don't think taking over my mom's dream bed and breakfast in Copper Run, Vermont was going to be easy. It should be a good place to heal after my divorce, but apparently my scones belong in the garbage with my small talk skills, as pointed out by none other than Cliff. Cliff is inescapable. He knows exactly what people need always. His charm, the way he wears flannel, and even his pastries make me not want to be friends with Cliff, and his daughter's pretty hard. Friends, I can make friends. That's safe. Except I'm leaving in 3 months to pass it off to my little sister and get the promotion in Seattle I've been working towards. So ask me why I'm thinking about kissing my hot neighbor. So it does sound a little bit corny, but it has really, really, really good ratings, and I'm hoping it gives me those Gilmore Girl vibes, and I do love a single parent romance. Now we're gonna do our 5th spin. I think I'm gonna do 6, just because why not? There's no punishments, you know? But we're gonna do 5. Ooh, this one's fun. A random letter. So what I'm gonna do is have a random letter generator generate me a letter and then find the first letter of a title with that letter. Now, the and a don't count. So if it says the or a, I can like skip that and go to the next word. So I pulled up the random letter generator. We're gonna have it generate one word for us. There's all these ads, oh my gosh. But we're gonna do it 3 times, and the third one is gonna be what we do. So 1, she's glitching, 2, 3. Oh, thankfully I have one book that actually fits this really well, and that is The Only Good Indians, because of course I said I'm going to skip the or a. So only is the first word, and so The Only Good Indians is what we're going to be going with. This makes me nervous and excited because I've owned this one for a really long time, and I've only read 2 things from Stephen Graham Jones. I read Night of the Mannequins, which I gave 3.5 stars. I did like it. And then I read My Heart is a Chainsaw, which I did not like. So I'm excited to try this one out and see if I like it. I also have the Buffalo Hunter, but that one is a bit more of a commitment because it's big, it's historical fiction. I heard the language is very dense. So hopefully this one is more of like a quick read for me to see if I even want to read the Buffalo Hunter. I just know that this one is about a group of men that I think are part of this native community. They go hunting and they kill an animal that they're not supposed to or something like that. And they are being tracked by this entity bent on retribution. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, I've heard mixed things. I don't know what I'm gonna feel, but she's getting added to the TBR. Okay, for my last prompt, I'm hoping that we can get a fantasy, because I feel like the best time for me to read fantasy is the fall and winter. If I don't read in the fall and winter, it's not gonna get read to the next fall or winter. So I have a lot of fantasy I really wanna prioritize for the next probably 6 months. We have a few horror on this list, we have a romance, we have a dystopian. So let's try to get a fantasy on this list. I do get 1 skip if I don't like the prompt, so we'll see. Person on the cover. Actually, a lot of the fantasy I have on my fall TBR fits for this prompt. So I have 2 options, because one option I should go with, and that is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. I want to finish this off this series. I said that I was going to finish it this year. I don't know if I will, because there's only a couple months left, but this is the next book I have to read. I've reread the first 2 or 3 books multiple times to get to this book, so I have them imprinted up here. So I just need to jump into her. And obviously Selena is on the cover, but obviously she's thick, and I want to finish the Count of Monte Cristo as well. So this is the one that I'm hoping to go with. But if I don't go with this one, I have one to kind of ease me in, and that is The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This is a middle grade fantasy, and obviously it has this girl on the cover, and I've heard really, really good things about this. And middle grade is one of those age groups that I don't read often, but when I do, I really, really love it. So one of these, if not, I have other fantasies that I could read too, but these are kind of the ones that I'm hoping for. Like, I really want to do this one, especially because it's also on my 25 books to read in 2025, and I want to finish the series. But this one would be a really good ease and introduction into fantasy again after not reading it since February, March. Quickly, I pulled some books that I really, really want to read from my fall TBR that I didn't get on this TBR. This is probably like what you guys could potentially see me reading in my fall vlog for seasonal roulette, that kind of stuff. First up, of course, I have the September House. This I feel like needs to be read in September because it's a September house. I know this one's more of like a haunted house, which is not my favorite, but I want to give it a shot because a lot of people really love this one, and you have to read in September because it's a September house. So I'm hoping to get to this one, of course. Putting the fantasy on here, so A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkins. This is a dark academia fantasy romance, I think, between a vampire and a witch. Sounds good. Sounds perfect. Everybody loves this series, so I need to read it. American Rapture, I also wanted to put on here because I love Mayfly by this author, and this one's also on my 25 books to read in 2025, so I feel like it'd be a good time to read it because I'm a little bit behind on that challenge, so I kind of want to catch up, and I've been really anticipating this book, even though I haven't heard the best things about it, but, you know, I just want to try it out and see for myself. Another book also on my 25 books to read in 2025 is Train Gang All-Stars. This one's not specifically fall, but it's just one that I really want to read, so I put it on my fall TBR. This one has to do with the prison industrial complex, and it is technically sci-fi, which is what kind of put me off for so long of like why I didn't pick it up, because anything outside of like thriller, mystery, horror, romance is a little bit intimidating for me because I just don't read it as often, and sci-fi is included in that. But I have heard so many people love this book when it first came out, but I feel like it's having like a resurgence recently, like the past couple months. So many people have been reading this and loving it. I think I would adore it, especially because I literally got an undergrad degree in criminology, and this has so much to do with the criminal justice system. I've also been really wanting to read Phantasma because I've heard so many good things about this romance. It's a fantasy romance, obviously, and I don't really know that much about it, but so many people have been loving this one and saying that it's perfect for this time of year. I also been really wanting to read The Quiet Tenant. This is one that's been on my TBR since I first heard about it, but I just acquired a physical copy a couple months ago, and this one I believe is about a serial killer who has this woman held captive for years, aka she's the Quiet Tenant, and that's all that I really know about it. A lot of people compare this one to Notes on Execution, but I think they are quite different, but I'm hoping I like this one more than that one because that one didn't fully work for me. Another thriller I've been really wanting to read is Sharp Objects. I just read a thriller that was a 5-star for me that I loved. I ate up every single page and I forgot what that's like. Honestly, I haven't really had that many really good thrillers in the past 2 years, so I'm like, maybe this one would be her because I've heard good things about this one, and I think it's about a reporter who goes to a town to cover the murders of 2 preteen girls, and she works to uncover the truth. She finds herself identifying with the young victims a bit too strongly. Everybody also loves Gone Girl. I didn't love Gone Girl, but I appreciate it for what it was. I think when it came out, it was phenomenal, but I read it years after it came out, so I feel like I read so many thrillers that, you know, riffed off that book that I wasn't as surprised by it, but I'm hoping to love this one. I also wanted to put Someone You Could Build a Nest In, another one I've heard so many people talk about recently, and I think this one is kind of like a fantasy horror romance. That's what intrigued me about it, is that it's such a combination of genres, and again, so many people have been loving this one, so I really want to try it out. Another one that I've been dying to read since it came out is Divine Rivals. This one came out in 2023, and I wanted to read it last year, but everybody was obviously boycotting the St. Martin's Press at that time, and since then, since the boycott ended last year, I just haven't had the chance to read this one yet, and so I have been really wanting to pick this one up. I just know it's a fantasy romance that has to do with typewriters and gods, and it's only a duology, so I think it could be great to like kind of just read over the course of this fall. And the last book is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I've been really wanting to read this book. I heard someone talking about it last fall, and the way that they talked about it was just so amazing to me. I really wanted to pick it up, but I didn't get it in time for that fall, and I feel like this is one that you are supposed to read in fall. Every single person I've talked to who read this book says to wait and read it in the fall. So I've been waiting all year to read it, and now's the time. And if I don't read it this fall, I'm literally going to cry. So I have to prioritize her, and it is a classic. It's like a suspense slash thriller, like one of the first thrillers ever written, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. So here's my spinner wheel TBR. We're missing Animal Farm and If It Makes You Happy, but I feel like those will both be like faster reads because Animal Farm's so short, and If It Makes You Happy is just a romance. And then I also have my 2 book club picks, Too Old for This and There Are Rivers in the Sky, or There Is a River in the Sky. And then hopefully I'll also finish the Connie Monte Cristo, and I need to read You're Invited for my TBR jar vlog. So she's a bit hefty, but I'm really excited. Just like looking, I'm like fall is here. So I'm just really excited. I hope that you guys are also really excited for fall. I have some really fun fall content planned, and I would love to know what you plan to read in September to kind of kick off your fall reading, your cozy season reading. And while you're down there, you can leave me the pumpkin slash jack-o'-lantern emoji to let me know that you made it to the end, and I will see you on the next one. Bye everybody. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking the moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me.